The clip of J.D. Vance trying to rally support had already started to go viral when Jasmine Crockett stepped up to the microphone. The video showed a restless crowd growing louder with boos, and then the moment that sealed it, a local reporter, questioning Vance so directly that he stumbled, lost his words, and finally left the stage under a chorus of jeers. The footage was awkward, raw, and so real that no amount of spin could cover it. And Jasmine didn't waste a moment before turning it into a lesson. She didn't shout or gloat outright. Instead, her mockery was measured almost amused-like. Someone observing a pattern she'd seen too many times before. Imagine showing up so unprepared that even your own talking points abandon you, she quipped, a hint of disbelief in her tone. The crowd around her chuckled, sensing she wasn't just targeting Vance's words, but the entire shaky performance he'd given under pressure. It was less an insult than a diagnosis. What made her remarks sting wasn't their volume, but their clarity. Jasmine painted the picture, a man so eager for applause he forgot to listen to the people in front of him. So busy rehearsing slogans that he couldn't handle a single pointed question, her words didn't sound rehearsed. They felt spontaneous, sparked by genuine frustration that someone could walk into a town, insult its intelligence, and then flee the moment the script failed. The clip spread online in two halves. First Vance's unraveling, then Jasmine's reaction. People paired them together, calling it the roast and the reckoning. Viewers who'd never paid attention to local politics found themselves watching on loop, drawn to how quickly bravado collapsed when confronted by real questions, and Jasmine's voice calm, almost amused, felt like the punctuation mark that made it unforgettable. Critics rushed to defend Vance, claiming the crowd had been stacked to the reporter unfair. But the video itself undercut those excuses. It showed someone who looked less like a leader and more like a salesman, suddenly caught without a pitch. Jasmine seized that contrast, describing it as the moment voters saw what lay behind the polished ads and slogans, uncertainty, evasion, and a quick exit when challenged. Her mockery worked because it felt less mean-spirited and more like pointing out the obvious. She also refused to let the moment become just about personality. After the laughter faded, Jasmine shifted tone, reminding listeners that what mattered wasn't Vance's embarrassment but why it happened. People recognized empty words and pushed back. That pivot turned her mockery into something larger, an argument about what voters deserve, honesty, not theater. It was a move that kept the conversation grounded even as it stayed entertaining. The contrast was striking. Where Vance looked rattled and defensive, Jasmine looked steady, even amused. She seemed to relish the questions rather than fear them. And by doing so, she reminded viewers that confidence isn't just about talking loudly. It's about having something real, too. Say when someone pushes back. That subtle lesson resonated far beyond the town square where the moment unfolded. Commentators debated whether Jasmine had gone too far, but the public response was clear. People loved seeing a politician call out cowardice so plainly. The phrase ran out of town, trended, paired with clips of Vance's awkward retreat. Meanwhile, Jasmine's smirk, captured perfectly by a local camera, became a meme in itself, shared with captions about standing your ground versus running for the door. In follow-up interviews, Jasmine didn't back down. She admitted it wasn't the first time she'd seen a candidate fall apart under real scrutiny, and she doubted it would be the last. But she insisted the real takeaway shouldn't be her joke, it should be why voters felt angry enough to boo. In the first place, that refusal to make it only about herself added credibility. It showed the mockery wasn't just for entertainment but rooted in real frustration. By the next day, the story had reached national news, overshadowing whatever message Vance had hoped to deliver. His team's attempts to blame the crowd or the reporter sounded weaker against the unedited clip. And standing in contrast to that spin was Jasmine Crockett, laughing softly as she reminded everyone that it takes more than slogans to earn a town's respect, and that running away only proves the point. As the dust settled, what stuck in viewers' minds wasn't only the awkwardness of Vance's retreat, but the clarity of Jasmine's response. She didn't need to scream or drown him in insults. Her mockery landed because it was rooted in what everyone could see: a a candidate caught off guard by the very people he claimed to represent. That contrast between rehearsed talking points and unvarnished honesty gave her words staying power far beyond a single viral clip. Social media kept the moment alive, but not as a fleeting meme. Instead, it sparked conversations about what real political courage looks like. Clips of Vance fumbling were paired with footage of Jasmine standing calmly in other debates, still handling tough questions without panic. The message was clear. Leadership isn't about never being challenged. It's about being ready when you are. Her mockery worked not just because it was funny, but because it fit the facts. Even among some conservatives, quiet frustration surfaced. Comment threads included people admitting that, while they might not support Jasmine politically, they couldn't deny she'd identified something real, a gap between campaign performance and actual conviction. Her words forced people to ask why a candidate so loudly confident online could be so visibly shaken by one reporter's follow-up question. That discomfort proved harder to dismiss than the mockery itself. Vance tried to regroup, scheduling new events and doubling down on prepared statements. But every fresh appearance was haunted by the original footage, the crowd's boos, the reporter's bluntness, and his own visible hesitation. Jasmine didn't need to say much more. The damage had already been done. New video clip circulated. Alongside her earlier remarks, making it impossible for his team to change the story, commentators noted Jasmine's restraint afterward. She didn't launch a week-long media tour to gloat. She let the clip speak. That decision kept the focus on Vance's reaction rather than turning it into a personal feud. And that restraint, ironically, made her words echo louder. It showed that her mockery wasn't just about scoring points, but about revealing a truth she thought voters deserved to see. In speeches that followed, Jasmine used the moment as a cautionary tale. Don't underestimate voters and don't think applause is owed to you just because you showed up. The lesson resonated widely, especially among young voters tired of polished speeches without substance. They shared her, quote, "Imagine being so unprepared that even your own talking points abandon you," as both a joke and a warning to every politician tempted to fake conviction. The local reporter who'd asked the question also gained unexpected attention, praised for refusing to let Vance slip away with slogans. Jasmine publicly credited the reporter's courage, saying it proved real journalism still matters. That acknowledgement deepened the sense that her mockery wasn't just for the cameras. It was part of defending the public's right to answers, rather than performance. As the news cycle moved on, what survived wasn't just that Vance got booed, but that he left rather than faced it. Jasmine's words captured why that choice mattered. Running away didn't just look weak. It exposed what was missing beneath the speeches. Her laughter, lightly mocking but rooted in genuine frustration, turned a single stumble into a symbol of deeper unprevalent. In the end, the moment stood as a reminder that voters aren't props and reporters aren't stagehands. And in calling that out, Jasmine Crockett didn't just embarrass J.D. Vance. She offered a sharper truth, that real confidence comes not from expecting praise, but from being ready no matter what question comes next.